I'm Tim, welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at the Chronoswiss Delphis Jump Hour Retrograde 38 millimeters in brushed and polished stainless steel. You can see this Chronoswiss Delphis on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, Chronoswiss is one of the smaller houses in independent watchmaking, but it has a knack for turning out unique complications that represent outstanding value in their class. They also have a little bit of a Baroque styling bent that expresses itself in the form of the unique bezel, caseback, lugs, and dial that you see here on the Delphis. But above all, they are traditional watches. According to the founder, Gerd R. Lang, who started Chronoswiss in 1982, the idea was to recreate traditional Swiss horology in a handmade watch assembled in Munich, Germany, just across the border. Now, the thing about this watch is that 38 millimeters across the round of the case, 46.5 from the extremity of lug to extremity of lug, and only 11 millimeters thick, the watch wears extremely compact, wieldy, and light on the wrist. Honestly, I have to say that the comfort factor on my 6 1/3 inch, 16 centimeter wrist is outstanding. And if you do want to wear it under a tight cuff, although the edge is fairly sheer, the rounded coined bezel makes it easy to slip under a tight sleeve. Ergonomically, it's outstanding. Now, this one I want to highlight comes on a very high quality, contrasting stitch, alligator leather aftermarket strap with aftermarket buckle, and it's a nice pairing with the watch because the contrasting stitch complements the silver of the dial nicely, and the blue of the alligator scales complements these beautiful pear-style hands perfectly. Now, the dial can only be described as a sort of neoclassical Baroque, and I say that because the abundance of guilloche and the 3 separate time displays, radial analog, retrograde analog, and digital jump hour, set this apart from almost anything else available. Now, it's a phenomenal complication built on top of a Enocar 165 automatic movement, and the highlight is that not only do you have those 3 separate time displays, but when the minute hand reaches the end of its travel, phenomenal dynamism. Now, everything about this dial is beautifully textured, articulated, and designed to dance in direct light. You can see even in the light of my light box here, there are exciting things going on. It's not an austere dial by any means, and with this broad expanse of silvered metal, in less deft a hand than that of Gerd R. Lang, this could have been a bit of a clinical reference. This could have been a little bit too institutional, too sterile. Instead, it winds up warm, inviting, articulated, textured, and because of that guilloche, contrasting in each case, from the subdial to the main dial to the minute track itself, it has a dynamism that just excites, and in combination with the case, which is just as beautifully articulated and differentiated by molding and polish, this is quite a lot of watch in a 38 millimeter case, and I mean to say that it has an outsized personality. You've got the combination of the coined bezel, the coined caseback, these Piccadilly-style lugs with screw-fixed bars. You've got that gorgeous multiply guilloche dial. You have the elaborate pear-style hands. And, of course, you have a unique time display that looks like a vintage piece, but gives you the convenience of modern automatic winding and the dynamism of a retrograde and a jump hour. Now, the caseback, featuring the modified Enocar 165, here doing business as the Chronoswiss caliber 124, gives you an eyeful. Automatic winding, it's the more efficient unidirectional version, so it'll top off its roughly 42-hour power reserve fairly quickly when worn on the wrist. Now, Gerd R. Lang bought out essentially the world's supply of closeout Enocar 165s during the 80s, so he was able to use it sort of as an exclusive movement for his entire Chronoswiss range, and most of his watches were actually complications built on the Enocar base. The improvements he makes to the base itself include the skeletonized and gold-blazoned Côte de Genève engraved winding rotor, and special treatments on the main plate, which received perlage engine turning, as well as the bridge for the winding system and the balance cock, which received a nice engraved Côte de Genève crest pattern. Now, if you've seen a base Enocar 165, it's a little bit plain compared to this. So while this is machine finish, it's definitely an investment in the aesthetics and the upscale appearance of Lang's own version of the 165. Now, what it also has is an upgrade from the standard 24 jewel Enocar movement, upgraded to 29 with the addition of the jump hour and retrograde module. It's a phenomenal amount of visual impact for the money. It's a great chapter in independent watchmaking as Lang has effectively established his company long before it was cool to operate beyond the orbit of a large luxury group. And through the 80s, through the 90s, he was really one of the few flying the flags for traditional mechanical watches. At a time when quartz still dominated the market, he worked exclusively with mechanical. At a time when complications were priced into the stratosphere, he introduced things like jump hours, regulators, skeletonized chronographs to the market at prices that people could accept and access, with durability and everyday wearability that really belied the price of the timepieces themselves. Never a high volume manufacturer. It was always about 5,000 to 7,000 watches a year. So these Chronoswiss watches remain rare to this day, and it's always a pleasure to encounter them. They're the kind of watches that you rarely see, but almost all watch enthusiasts recognize, appreciate, and respect. You can see this Chronoswiss Delphis Jump Hour Retrograde on our website, watchyouwant.com. Take it home if you like. And again, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc.